Woods yet. The number of learners with COVID-19 at Etembeni High School in Burgersdorp increased from 98 to 102 in only 4 days. A team from the Provincial Education, Health and Public Works Department is in place to stop the spread.
Applying extra caution amid a coronavirus scare, 2 positive learners is all it took to infect over 100. This as the matrics begin trial examination. This has left many anxious.
Everybody is fearful, and we also had educators with comorbidities that were supposed to start today. Most of them have written some SMSs saying that they are not feeling well because of the anxiety and so on.
We have taken quite very seriously this outbreak because it takes a toll in government, because it reflects how should we then, as a multidisciplinary task teams of government, make a proper analysis, as the president have declared level 1 currently now. But however, it then becomes a responsibility for us to ensure that we look closely where originally these kids are coming from.
The department says infected learners will continue their exams as they are asymptomatic. Learning at the school is also continuing.
This was unexpected, and we don't know how to do it, but the responsibility is dependent on us as learners. How do we protect ourselves? And we should sanitize every time when we are going in public place, and every time when we go to toilets. We have to sanitize and control the spread, because the responsibility is dependent on us.
Of the 140 coronavirus cases in Eastern Cape schools, 102 are from a single school, Etembeni High School. The department has vowed to strengthen its systems in fighting the spread. Yanga Funani, SABC News in Burgersdorp.
The Congress of Traditional Leaders of South Africa is disappointed that initiation schools are not allowed to operate when the country moves into alert level 1 of the lockdown, which it has. Contralesa had to suspend June initiations in April, just 1 month after government imposed stringent measure to curb the spread of the coronavirus. Hosi Matupa Mukwena is the president who joins us now with Contralesa. Very good evening to you. A very warm welcome. Hosi, just tell us, what are your concerns here? Just given the high contact nature of circumcisions, do you not think it wise to take precautionary measures?
Thank you very much, Trepiso. I must say, we are disappointed and we are so surprised and shocked that the government decided to ignore us when they moved the country from alert level 2 to alert level 1. Because we thought that because we are such a very important sector, government will deem it fit to consult us. Surprisingly, they consulted everybody else but except us. And the danger here, madam, is that we thought they will also apply the new normal, where they will ask us as traditional leadership as to what measures do we have that they will make sure that they don't put the lives of our kids in danger. And we're not going to do it recklessly as if we don't know what is facing the country now. What we're expecting from our government is to say, let's say, for example, if we used to have more than 200 initiates in the mountain, we'll agree that let's scale down and have, let's say, around 100 or even 7 or 8. Because there are parents who listen to us, adhere to my call when I requested that let's not have the winter season. And they agreed. So that's where we're coming in leadership, to say we are so surprised that we're ignored. And the danger, Sepiso, is that come December time, we might have mushrooming illegal schools that will be in those provinces where they're having their initial schools even in summer. My leader.
And I want to talk about, you say the authorities have not reached out to you. Are you going to attempt to negotiate with them, given what you say is the danger of people then resorting to illegal practitioners or schools in order to have this rite of passage?
In fact, there are parents who said some of the sons are going to tertiary next year. They thought come 2020, their sons will go through the rite of passage. And they were expecting government to meet us halfway as well as this sector. Unfortunately, it was not to be. Now, parents are now irritated and frustrated. They are saying, if you, Hoshimukwena, our kings and queens, and even our traditional leaders are not consulted, it means black men, we are on your own. Whatever that government might plan to do, come December time, we'll do what we think is good for us. And it will be very dangerous, Tsepiso, because when they don't consult us, the possibility is that there are those who are going to continue with or without the permission of government in having those initiation schools. And that might be a danger to us as parents and as leaders.
What you call the deferral of the cultural transition to manhood. Talk to us about the importance of this. This is something obviously not familiar with those who don't practice it, and even though for some of us it is within our cultures, but I know it's a sacred thing that goes on behind closed doors or behind open woods or whatever. But the point is, what is the importance of this? Why do you call it a deferral?
This is one of the noble cultural practice as black Africans. Because hence we are trying to teach people that there is a difference between circumcision and initiation. The emphasis here is initiation. When the boys are going to the mountain, that's where they are taught on how to conduct themselves when they become men. That's where we pumped into their heads to say they must respect whoever at all times. I agree that there are those who might fall off the track at some point. But the purpose of taking them to the mountain is to teach them good morals. And some other things that, as rightly said, my sister Tsepiso, we might not tell everything on air. But depriving us as the custodians of culture and tradition, and our people going through this rite of passage, it's tantamount to say, you don't matter. We are going to suffocate your culture in favor of the Western culture. Because if you can see our government, they're going to promote the male circumcision in hospital, as if going to the mountain, it's all about circumcision. No, in the mountain, the importance thereof is that we are going to be taught on how to be a real man.
And I want to talk about what a real man is, Hoshi, because given the current state of our country, the scourge of GBV and femicide, what role can these initiation practices play in ending this?
A good question, madam. You know, if there is any man who is found to be abusing women or doing, we hate this man with passion. And we so wish at times that there were those olden times where we were allowed to punish this man. But fortunately or unfortunately, we had to allow the law to take its course. Real men cannot abuse. Real men cannot beat an innocent woman. A real man cannot rape and do whatever to a woman. In our olden days, we know that when a woman sees a man, she will say, "Here is my protector." But of late, when a woman sees a man, you are looking at a space where to hide, which is so unfortunate. And as Contralesa was saying, any person or any man, regardless of your status, if you do that, you must know that you are our enemy number one, because we don't want our women to live in fear that here is this man who might do anything to me. We don't like that. Hence, this tradition, this noble tradition, noble practice, it's where we're going to say, please don't embarrass us by dragging the name of all men in the mud, by abusing our women.
Thank
we are
you.
saying real men cannot do all those things.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Khosi Matupa Mukwena is the president of Contralesa. We're going to take a quick break. Do stay with us.